right, hello boys and ladies. Welcome to episode 15 of at least 15 Minute Fridays. I blew my entrance a little bit. I was supposed to come on with a hat, but you know, these things happen. I am struggling a bit. The world is struggling a bit. The United States is struggling a lot. What can we do these days, right? I'm in one of those places where I'm trying to just not hate everything all the time. And in having to sort of review the history of the United States in preparation for this holiday in order to try to teach children who don't feel like learning either, you know, it sort of reminded me how young this country really is. And reminded me that with struggle and conflict and sadness usually comes change and transition. So that's kind of how I'm looking at this for me personally in life, with the insane dreams that make me not even want to go to sleep. And then if I want to go to sleep, we got the fireworks and we got the car parties and whatever, with the insanity happening in our country. What I try to remember is that means this is a time of change, right? So that's kind of how I'm going to look at it. The incredible music that you heard at the beginning was Miss Memphis Minnie. She's our featured feisty female songwriter of the week. Come on, hats. I will talk more about her in a few minutes. She is incredible. One of the most popular blues artists of all time. So I can't wait to tell you more about her. But in the meantime, let's get started. Hello, I do have the air conditioner on because I just didn't think I could handle it today without, but I cranked up the sound, so hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm gonna start with a couple of my tunes. I'm gonna wait till you see what I got here. Somebody bought an ankle shaker, so I'm going to sort of try to increase the amount of foot percussion and see if that helps things. Let's get started. This first one is kind of an oldie but a goodie, I suppose. I think both of the songs of mine that I picked for today, like I said, have to do with changing, right? Whether you feel changing is improving, or sometimes change feels good, sometimes it feels terrible. But anyway, this one is called Anymore. I have a tambourine taped to the floor. Even though it's not supposed to be part of this number, it might be anyway, so, you know, here it goes. This is Anymore. As I get older and closer to wise, there are certain things I've come to realize. Sometimes the lows outnumber the highs. I'm basically a good girl, at least I try to be, 'cause I guess that all depends on what good means to me. Maybe Huzzah, huzzah. Thank you so much, folks. That was Any More. This next one is called Someday. I'll try not to talk too much about this because I have a lot to say about Memphis Minnie. But this is a song that I wrote a little while ago, and I haven't done that much, or I often use as my sacrificial lamb, as I call it, when I was playing out gigs, the one you do first, when you know your brain's like, bleep, and you're gonna mess up anyway, because I seem to always mess it up. So I thought I'd give it another, in spirit of change and transition, right, give it another try today with some extra foot percussion, and see, shall we let the hat go, and see how it goes. I know I have hat head, what are you gonna do? This goes in my cowboy boot. And then I tap my tambourine and we'll see how it goes. Okay, this is Someday, parentheses, Call Me Indispensable. Ever since that tarot reading, I've known you won't be my last stop. Ever since then, I can see my devotion's been over the top. I know someday I'll have to say I'll let you go. But there are things I think you ought, I think you should, you gotta know. 'Cause my tongue is tied and my resolve and all those circles smoke. Seems I can't stay mad, but then again I can't enjoy the joke. I just can't fix what's broken. Do I love you? Does the sun set in the west? Yes, I want you, but you're always unimpressed. Should we just get undressed? Turns it's easy and something you won't do, can't be without. That's why I'm trying really hard to show I'll go up, get down. I've seen that look, I know the signs, and I've been through it all before. That's why I'd like to be the one to call it, let's avoid the war. What is it good for? Do I love you? Does the sun set in the west? God, I want you, but you're always unimpressed. Just tell me I'm the best. Or can't you say you can't survive without me? Not a single day. It's not that hard, you just pretend you mean that stuff you used to say. But now I've shown my hand and I reveal the desperate lifestyle. I'm like the deer caught in your light, you hypnotize me when you smile. I'm back in denial. Do I love you? Does the sun set in the west? God, I want you, but you're always unimpressed. This has to be addressed. Ever since that tarot reading, I've known you won't be my last stop. This fantasy I've been believing, I know it's been over the top. It's time to let it drop, but it's hard for me to stop. I know someday I'll have to say I'll let you go. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That was Someday, parentheses, Call Me Indispensable, with some extra foot percussion. You know, I'm doing what I can. All right, so time for Memphis Minnie, and I'm so excited. I told you I'm struggling today. All my notes about Memphis Minnie. Oh my God, can you imagine? You see all these notes I have about Memphis Minnie that I almost forgot to say. Okay, so let me step out in front of the microphone here. Rattling a little bit. Hey, hi everyone. So, Memphis Minnie. If you don't know about Memphis Minnie, I'm going to tell you as succinctly as I can, but I would encourage you to go. Her stuff is all over Spotify or anywhere great music can be found. You can find it. She has recorded over 200 songs. She made music for over 3 decades. She was a recording artist for over 3 decades. She was born Lizzie Douglas. Shouldn't really like that name, so for a while she went by Kid Douglas. Memphis Minnie was a name given to her by Columbia A&R guy later on. She was the eldest of 13. She ran away to Beale Street when she was 13, and interesting fact, I thought, after playing on street corners, she ended up going on tour with Ringling Brothers Circus, playing in the South from 1960 to 1920. She went back to Beale Street, did that for many years, married her second husband, and they got discovered by Columbia. That's how she ended up getting named Memphis Minnie. He came up with the name Kansas Joe and Memphis Minnie, and they recorded under those names for years. And the song I'm going to play with you is probably her most well-known song. It's called Bumblebee. She did, I think, 5 different versions of it, so you can find any of the versions. The thing that strikes me the most about her story is incredible. She has always been one of my heroes. I have a weird obsession with her. I even did a report on her in French like 10 years ago when I, long story, but ended up getting to go to French school in Vichy, France for a month, and I asked in my French class if I could do a presentation on Le Blues about Memphis Minnie. She was just an incredible woman, and the thing that I find the most incredible is that there are biographies that talk about her. Langston Hughes wrote about her many times when he was writing for the Chicago, I think it's the Chicago Defender, when she was in Chicago playing all the time. And the blues men that played with her, her colleagues that knew her, speak of her in such a respectful, admiring way. They also say that she took no foolishness off of anybody. She was known to be a consummate professional, polished, and present herself as very feminine with jewelry and dresses. But it was said, let's see if I can find the quotes, that any man who gave her any foolishness whatsoever, a blues musician named Johnny Shine says, guitar, pocket knife, pistol, anything she got her hand on, she would use it. So she was known to take care of herself when necessary. Also, apparently chewed tobacco all the time and always kept a cup nearby. Also, one of my favorite facts, she had 3 husbands over the course of her life. No marriage certificates, but in addition to the 3 husbands, at different times of course, was known to have lived with a gentleman known as Squirrel at some point during the 30s. He sounds like an interesting guy. Anyway, she recorded until into the 50s, and in fact in 1958 played a benefit for one of her very close blues colleagues, Big Bill Brucey, I believe was his name. He also wrote a lot of incredibly respectful and admiring things about her in his biography, about her beating him at cutting contests in bars when, you know, it's like the 1930s version of Versus, and she would pretty much always win with her songs. Yeah, she played a tribute for him in 58, but around 1960 she had a stroke and was in a nursing home. In the 60s, she was having a really hard time. Social Security was not paying for her expenses, and they published her story in a magazine, and so many people like pitched in to help her. All sorts of people sent money to help her situation. She died in 1973 of another stroke. In 96, Bonnie Raitt paid for a headstone for her, and there was a big ceremony at the cemetery in Mississippi. 34 members of her family were present, including her sister Daisy, and I will read you the awesome quote that is etched on her gravestone in a second when I find it. Told you I'm struggling today, guys. Sorry, I'm having a hard time. There we go. The hundreds of sides Minnie recorded are the perfect material to teach us about the blues. For the blues are at once general and particular, speaking for millions, but in a highly singular individual voice. Listening to Minnie's songs, we hear her fantasies, her dreams, her desires, but we will hear them as if they were our own. And one more thing I would like to say is that tons of people have covered her songs, unfortunately not always in the right way, meaning being totally above board about the fact that they were covering her material. Sometimes they just change a few words or adapt it a little bit, and in fact her family is still involved in trying to collect money and royalties for a lot of songs, but just a few of the bands you may know very well that have covered Memphis Minnie songs. For one thing, and the way I first found her was during my sort of middle school Led Zeppelin obsession, because she is the person who actually wrote When the Levee Breaks, which Led Zeppelin adapted a little bit to do for their version, which is, you know, obviously a huge hit. Jefferson Airplane did a version of her song Donovan. The song Hey Gyp, Dig the Slowness is actually a cover of her song Can I Do It For You. Mazzy Star did a cover of her song I'm Sailin', and on and on and on. So she's incredible, one of the greatest musicians you may never have heard of, and after this I'll actually share on Instagram and all over some stuff from Spotify so you can check her out. But I just love her. She's one of my heroes. Talk about a feisty, rootin' tootin', take no shit kind of lady, and an amazing musician. That is her. So, to Memphis Minnie, she was a legendary blues picker. I am not, but I am going to do my best. And I'm going to sing my version, simplified version of her song, Bumblebee. Hope you enjoy it. I feel like Memphis Minnie would want me to have a little sip of tequila, which seems like the perfect American drink to have at this particular time. Okay, this is Bumblebee by Memphis Minnie. Bumblebee, Bumblebee, please come back to me. Bumblebee, Bumblebee, please come back to me. He's got the best old stinger, any bumblebee I ever seen. to Memphis Minnie. I hope she appreciates the effort. I hold her in the highest possible regards. I also forgot to tell you, I'm gonna step out in front. Doctor, our opening song. Oh, also this gets me ready for my exit here. I have a special exit headwear. The opening song, Doctor, was also going out to doctors everywhere, including Dr. Fauci, who are so sick of saying the same thing over and over and over that they just can't take it anymore. So, cheers to Dr. Fauci and Memphis Minnie, and greet people everywhere. Keep fighting, everyone. Hang in there. I love you, and I will see you next Friday. Mwah.